this is Candy with eyes2jesus.blogspot.com and welcome to my monthly planner tour. So welcome to my March planner tour. And what planner am I going into March in? I am going into something that's going to surprise a lot of you. I'm going into this. So you can see the size. This is an A7 size planner, also known as pocket size. Now, pocket size can be a bit deceiving because there are some different brands that have different dimensions for just the term pocket size. Standard or probably industry pocket size that most people recognize is A7, but then there are companies like Franklin Covey who their pocket size is bigger than A7. They use A6 rings but smaller than A6 pages. So I started off the year in a Franklin Covey pocket size, which is smaller than A6 but bigger than A7, and I enjoyed the smallness of it, but I did kind of want more room in my purse. But then I went big. I went back to personal and I went into a Moterm Personal Versa. I love Moterm planners, and the Moterm Personal Versa is fabulous. I have one in mint and one in taupe. I canceled the one in black. It was taking a long time to ship and I realized I just didn't need it. So I really just like the mint and the taupe. The problem with that is you saw that chunky monkey. It was a workout getting it in and out of my purse, and having tennis elbow, having to grip that big thing. Ouch. So I'm enjoying having a lighter purse and a planner that's not as painful to grip with my tennis elbow. So this is a tennis elbow brace, in case you're wondering. It's not some fancy watch or blood pressure cuff thing or whatever. It's just a brace. So this is easier on my tennis elbow. It's light, not much heavier than my phone. Of course, you know, I have a huge phone because I have an extended battery in there so that I can go up to a week, sometimes a bit longer between charges. But yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, this is A7 size, pocket size, and there would be no way that I could fully fit into an A7 size ring planner unless it had big rings. So I have got a Moterm A7 pocket size with 30 millimeter rings. That is almost 1.25 inches, and that is fabulous. And this planner came with these big rings. I did not have to change them out or play any games. If you try to put 30 millimeter rings into your standard pocket size Moterm planner, you're probably going to have overhang, and I don't know if you can close the strap. Depends on how much you stuff it. But the purpose of having big rings is to stuff the planner, is it not? So what I got here is, this is their Luxe pocket. And the Luxe pocket comes with the big rings, so it's got a wider footprint so that you don't have overhang and that it can handle the 1.25 inch rings. And the popper, it's got a double popper here on it, so that if you have it really stuffed, you can put it on the looser setting, less stuffed on the tighter setting. I have this pretty chunkified out, and I still got it on the tight snap. I'm really right in between. I can do the tight snap or the looser snap. When I put it in my purse, I'll sometimes switch it to the looser snap because then it stays snapped easier in my purse, being jostled around. But here at home, I like to put it on the tight snap because it just holds it a bit more tighter closed, and I like that better. But yeah, I love that it has the 2 snaps. It comes with the big rings, and the Luxe has extra card slots and pockets that the normal Moterm A7 pocket does not have. And I really do utilize all the pockets. So in my personal opinion, the Moterm Luxes, whether it's going to be a pocket, a personal, an A5, etc., in my personal opinion, from what I've seen, it's like you took a Moterm original and you combined it with the Moterm Versa, and the hybrid of that is the Luxe. So there is no slide outs on this. It's one whole thing, but it's got the room like a Luxe does. It's got the multiple poppers like the Luxe does, and it's got a lot of pockets like the Luxe does. So I am absolutely loving this. And let me just grab one thing to show you. So I have the pocket Luxe Moterm in 2 colors. So I have it in taupe, which is a very popular color, and I can understand why. The taupe is a really fun color because in different lighting it looks different colors. In some lighting it kind of looks pink, other lighting it looks more of a darker brown, and other lighting you can take on kind of a semi-violet hue. So it is really cool. So this is also a pocket size Moterm Luxe in the color taupe, and this one I'd gotten off of Amazon. And the last I checked, there's still some of these in stock on Amazon and in a few other colors, but Moterms disappear off of Amazon fast. If you see a Moterm on Amazon you like, you should get it right away because it can literally be gone 30 seconds later, and it can be out of stock. Now, this Moterm Luxe Pocket is in the color lavender, and I have never seen this color on Amazon, and I really like the lavender. It is so pretty. I've seen the taupe, I've seen black, I've seen pink, but I've never seen the lavender on Amazon. So I got this off of the Moterm store on AliExpress, and it was worth the wait. This is absolutely gorgeous. So I am in the lavender, and then when I get tired of color, then I can move to the taupe when I want something more neutral. And unless they come out with some amazing teal color, you know, a darker type teal color or something like that, I'm probably not getting any more colors. The taupe and the lavender kind of fulfills my color needs, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'm currently in the A7 Moterm Luxe Pocket Size Lavender, and this one is the one from their AliExpress store. So let's get started on this tour. You can see it's chunkified, and I have everything in here, and it is not cramped. It is not hard to work with. It's working great. You see I have 2 pen loops, and I have 2 pens. That's another thing. You don't tend to see double poppers, big rings, and 2 pen loops in a pocket or A7, but you can get that with the Moterm Luxe. Going inside. So let's go over the pocket configuration first, okay? So on the front pockets, we have a little zipper, and I just keep change in there. And then you have this front pocket here. You see my washi cards there. And then we have 3 card slots that my washi card is somewhat covering, and I just keep some of my cards in those 3 card slots. And then, oh yeah, and then we got a secretarial pocket. Now the secretarial pocket, I just got a journaling card with the note on it and just a few folded up papers that I like to keep with me. So that's what I keep in the front secretarial pocket. And now we move to the back pockets. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card slots, and I just have cards in those card slots. And then inside the back secretarial pocket, I have some postage stamps, a few blank checks if I need it, some extra cards that I like to have with me that I don't need to access very often, and some folded up slips for my bank, you know, withdraw and deposit slips that I keep back there. And then we have the big pocket. And because this is slightly wider, the big pocket I think is probably a bit more versatile than the more slimmer A7 sizes. I'm able to still put my bills back here. I don't have to do anything to them. I'm able to take out my bills. For example, I got a bill in the mail today, so I go through my mail right away. Mail never ever piles up. So I immediately went through my mail, and then I always take out the bills that I get, and then I would go to my budget section and write down the actual total of that bill. Until I get the actual total, I always have a guessed total, guessed off the time of year and the previous month's bill. So I'll put on the actual total, and then I pop the bill in here. And I don't have to fold it any differently than how it came in the envelope in the mail. So that still can go back here. I'm very happy about that because I couldn't put bills in my Franklin Covey pocket size because there was no back pocket. Now maybe some of their ones, or vintage ones, have that. I've never seen it, but it's probably out there. But yeah, so I have bills back here. I have a few folded pieces of paper of Bible study notes back here. And then I have some spending cash. So the big back pocket is so completely useful for me and functional like it has been in the personal sizes. All right, now let's get into this beauty. So when you first open up my planner, it looks like this. So Moterms usually come with a leather flyleaf, and Moterms are genuine real leather, and it's so floppy but not uncontrollable, and it's so incredibly soft. Okay, now the Luxes not only come with the fly leaf, but their fly leaf has a pen loop on it. That's how I have a second pen loop in here. So my pen inside the fly leaf pen loop is a 4-color pen, and this is a Papermate one. In my experience, I like the Papermate 4 colors better than the Bic 4 colors. I think it just seems to write a bit better. So that's what I got there. And then on the inside of the fly leaf, you get 3 card slots. So that's where I have my hole reinforcement stickers in case any page rips out, which is less likely in an A7 because the rings are so close together and there's 6 of them. All right, and then you have, and then I have Avery labels. And labels, I use those, and they're little small labels, and I use those, for example, if there's a tentative thing that I'm not sure if it's going to be on that date or at that time, I'll write it on the label and stick it there, and then if it gets moved, I can just peel off the label and move it. And yeah, it's handy for that. Or if I need to make something really stand out and catch my eye, I will use a label. Or if I made a mistake on something that's like, whoops, I wrote that there, it's in pen because I usually don't use pencil, then I can just stick a label on top of it and continue planning right on top of that. And then my top card slot are Avery 1/4 or 1/4 inch colored dots, and I mostly use those on my monthly calendars just to bring out certain dates for my attention. But also I'll sometimes use those on my dailies as well. For example, my mother's 73rd birthday was a few days ago, so I had the dot on the date on the calendar, but then I also had the dot on that day on my daily page. So that's what those are used for. All right, so after the fly leaf, we come to my welcome page. And this is laminated cardstock, and I made it nice and thick so that this will also function as a front page lifter. And I do actually have a clear front page lifter if I ever need it, but I like having this, and it was redundant to have the clear page lifter over this. But this is Christian supplications, and I have some scriptures there that I like to meditate upon. And meditate, think about, for example, our English word premeditate. The actual meaning of meditate is to think, not to empty your brain. And that's how the scriptures use the word meditate too. It means to think deeply upon and ponder. So these are some scriptures that I like to look over. And then the other side are some more scriptures. And then the next page, I have another sheet of laminated scrapbook paper. And I just popped on that our current family picture. And then on the other side of that is a current couples picture of my husband and I. I have lost weight, so still just looking for a good opportunity for a new couples picture. But until then, here's me chubby. Okay, and then after that, I have several sheets of filler paper, and that's where I keep my running grocery list. If I run out of something, if I run low on something, if the kids say they want something, or I get an idea of something, you know, to get at the store, then it gets written down here. And backing up to my photos page, I have a tab sticking out on the top, and that's because if I just open up my planner and I want to quickly write something on my running grocery list, I can just open up my planner, grab the blue tab, and flip it, and it brings me right to the grocery list. That's what that's there for. It's very functional. I utilize it just about every single day. And then after that, I just have various sheets of filler paper just for more list writing for grocery lists, running grocery lists. And I always keep several, usually 4 to 7 sheets up front for that. All right, and then we come to my first divider. I have 6 main dividers, and I did make them myself. And how I made them was I have a pocket-size Filofax Malden, and I bought that in 2017 but never used it, and that's A7 size. And so before I purchased either of these pocket-size Moterm planners, I wanted to see if I could do A7 pocket size. So I went into the A7 pocket size Filofax Malden for a while, and it was fun. So anyways, if you've ever bought new Filofax planners, you know that they come with not only a year of inserts and some filler paper and to-do lists, contacts pages, etc., but they also come with 6 dividers. So I just used those 6 dividers as my template for making my own dividers. I picked out the scrapbook paper that I wanted, and then I just traced out those 6 dividers on those pieces of scrapbook paper, cut it out, laminated it, punched it, and labeled it, and I have my own dividers. So my 6 main dividers that I made are labeled home, school, budget, reference, assorted, and planning. And I labeled these with the label maker that I got as a gift from my husband on Thanksgiving, and you can see that on my Thanksgiving vlog on my YouTube channel if you so desire. So my first divider is labeled home. And this is my homemaking section. So going inside there, my first page is labeled daily chores. And they're my daily cleaning chores, but any other daily tasks that I need to get done on certain days, like paying bills, budgeting, grocery shopping, etc. And then on the other side of that are my children's daily cleaning chores. And then facing that is my children's daily chores trackers. You see, I just write it on filler paper. And it's nothing complicated. And so their paid chores tracker is some chores they get paid to do. Some chores they're just expected to do as being part of a family. So we don't do allowances, but what we do is if our kids want money, they can earn some money. We always have some opportunities for them to earn money. So when they do chores that earn money, and we can always come up with chores for them to earn money when they want to, then I track it here. And then each Saturday is their payday, and then I'll pay out to each child how much money that they had earned for that week. All right, and then after that are my children's table chores. And these are some of the chores, for example, that they do for free as part of the family. So this is where the children each have chores to help clean up after each meal. And it's rotating. No one child is stuck with dishes every single day, etc. That rotates through as well as, handling the leftovers, wiping things down, sweeping, etc. All right, and then the next two pages after that are my deep cleaning and organization projects. So I do this in lieu of spring cleaning. And I've been sitting on this project where my little marker is for a while because it is a big project. So I just do some of it each week, and then when that's done, my little marker will proceed down the list. So some things on here could take me several weeks of just working on it for a little while once a week to complete. Other things on here I might be able to do if I have the time 2 or 3 in 1 week because they're quick and easy. All right, so after my deep cleaning and organization projects, we have my master grocery list. And I reference this when I'm making my grocery list, and it just helps me see if I'm forgetting anything. And I have a little green flag sticking up on the top of it, and that again, that's for my ease of use. So because the very next page after that is my menu for the week. So when I want to just see my menu for the week, then I can just flip open to the home tab, grab this green flag sticking up, and then flip the page around, flip it over. And that brings me to my menu. And this is just the rest of my master grocery list. So it's my menu for the week. And I plan out our breakfasts, lunches, suppers, and their sides for each day. All right. After that, I have a list of breakfast ideas, lunch ideas, and supper ideas, which continues on the next page. And I reference those to help me when I'm making my menus or if I need to change up a meal or two for the day. Or for whatever, something comes up. Okay, and then on my breakfast, lunch, and supper ideas, I list the main meals, but I also list suggested sides to go with those main meals. Now, after that, I have my Thanksgiving and New Year's menu. If you've read my vlog, read any of the books that I've written, or have been watching my YouTube channel very long, you know that we don't do Christmas or Easter or Halloween or any of that stuff. But we do Thanksgiving, New Year's, July 4th, Election Day, and birthdays. So these are my Thanksgiving and New Year's menus that I cook each week. And they get small tweaks here and there every once in a while, but I've pretty much got them how I want them. And then after that, we have a page that says Table of Contents, and we have a little blue flag sticking off the side. Again, that's for ease of turning to. This table of contents is to my recipes, which is the rest of my homemaking section. And my recipe pages are numbered, and they're also in sections. My table of contents are just to the sections. So I just have to, if I want a specific thing I'm going to make, well, I know what section it's in, so I just look at my table of contents to see what page that section begins on, and then I just flip through the pages in that section to find the recipe I'm looking for. So I have my blue flag sticking off the side so that I can quickly grab this and turn to it quickly from my home tab whenever I need a recipe. So turning to a random place in my recipes, I have my recipes printed on pink paper, and they look like this. And then at the back of that, I have one sheet of lined pink paper for writing on any additional recipes. I have an additional recipe that I've written on there that hasn't been printed out yet, so it can just stay there written, and that's fine. And that's the last part in my homemaking section. Now, my next divider is labeled School. And this is my homeschooling section. I am a homeschooling mother of 4, and my 2 oldest are adults, and I am a grandmother of 1 so far. And then my 2 youngest are almost adults. They're both still going through high school homeschool. And all of my children are and were being homeschooled via the trivium method all the way through. And so my homeschool section is largely set up for how my mind works in planning and working on our lessons with using the trivium method of homeschool. So going inside the very first page, which continues on to the next page, is our homeschool schedule for the current homeschool year. And then after that, we have our homeschool curriculum chart or course of study for the school year, and this continues on to the next page. And then we have the children's current updated reading list, which I updated when I printed out for this pocket size A7 planner. And then the next 2 pages after that are their copywork assignments that we rotate through. And then after that, I have Monday school, Tuesdays and Wednesdays school, and Thursday school. There is no Friday school because we do light to little homeschooling or no homeschooling on Fridays. We generally homeschool Monday through Thursday, and this is how we've always done it, but we school year round, but we take the month of July off. And then I just have some note paper at the back here. My next divider is labeled budget. So my budgeting system is nice and simple. We live debt-free, so it's not very complicated to do our budgets. We don't do credit cards. We don't do car payments. We own our stuff, and so we have always lived debt-free, except for the few occasions in the past 23 years of our marriage where we've had to maybe take out a loan for some medical or dental or whatever, and that always gets paid off very promptly. So in general, though, we live debt-free. So my budgeting system does not have to be that complicated, and it is not. The very first page in my budget section is a printout that I labeled Budget Guide. Now, we get paid once a week, so I have 4 squares. I call them my 4 quadras here, and each quadra is numbered 1 through 4, and that corresponds to checks 1 through 4 during the month. So then I have which quadra or which check, which reoccurring expenses occur in. So I always make sure those are covered first, and then after that, I look at any extra expenses, birthdays, appointments, whatnot that's coming up during that week. I will check on the monthly calendar that's later in my planner, and then I will budget in those. And I budget on filler paper. I don't need any forms or printouts. I just write the date of that check at the top of the page and write out what all we need to spend, how much or approximately how much, if I don't know the accurate total each thing is going to be, what we have to wait to clear, what we have left over, etc. And I usually like to budget out at least a month ahead so that I can see looking forward where we're going and what's coming up. So I'm going to move past all of that. And my next divider is labeled Reference. So this is my reference section. So the very first page of my reference section, I have a note there that needs to be covered, is a table of contents. And I just wrote that out on a piece of paper because all of the pages, every page in my reference section is numbered. So my table of contents tells me what's on what page, and I have a few things in my reference section flagged so I can turn to them because those are a couple of sections that I turn to often. So then instead of just looking them up on the table of contents or flipping to the page number that I may have memorized, I just grab the flag. So I have a top flag for one of the pages and a side flag for one of the pages that I have marked. And what's in here, if I read to my table of contents, what's in my reference section is gift ideas, kids grocery week checklist, stock list, perpetual calendar, family information, directions, contacts, and codes. And that's my whole reference section. My next divider is labeled Assorted. And that's just as it says, it's assorted. So this is where I have some things in here that kind of could be in a reference section, or they can just hang out at the beginning of the assorted section, because they're kind of temporary, but we're talking maybe, you know, as in a few years type of temporary. And then this is also where I do brain dumping or scratch paper when I need it as well, and where I keep extra filler paper. So I have one flag sticking out in the top in the midst of my assorted section, and that just marks where my filler paper begins. Alright, so inside assorted, my very first page is just a sheet of Filofax filler paper, and I just have sticky notes on it on both sides of some Bible study notes. And then my next page after that are some notes for my website. Page after that are notes for my YouTube channel. The next 4 pages after that are things for my children and what we're working on and what's going on in their lives and things I need to track for them. And then I have a page of the paid holidays for my husband's work. And then my next page, this is something that you might find helpful. I have it labeled prints, sizes. And you know, I've been in a different size planner for each month so far this year. So in January, I was in Franklin Covey pocket size, which is different than A7 pocket size. In February, I was in personal size. And here in March, I am in A7 size. So how am I printing for all of these? I keep it simple. Now, it might be a bit wasteful because I don't print multiple pages for a sheet of paper. I can, but when I do it that way, I can never get it to fill up the page as much as I want, and I feel like there's wasted space, and I have to make my fonts smaller. So the way I do it, I can have bigger fonts and use up more of the space on the page, and I think that's more efficient in my planner. So I'm just going to tell you really quickly how I do it. Now, one way is you can make your document just on a regular letter size sheet of paper, but you just print it out reduced. So you just tell your printer, you know, you set the percentage and tell it to reduce. I rarely do it that way, but if I'm in a hurry or I'm just making a quick thing, then I might do it like that. So if you're going to print reduced for half letter size or A5 size, then you want to reduce to 64%. For personal size or Franklin Covey compact size even, reduce to 56%. For pocket size, and I mean A7 size, reduce it to 42%. Franklin Covey pocket size, you could also reduce to 42% or kind of play with it and go between 42 and 56%. Okay, but the way that I usually do it is I don't play with reductions on the printing. I will actually set it up with the margins in my Microsoft Word. That's what I use. I use Microsoft Word. And then I will just set up the margins for the size that I'm doing. And that way I can already pick the font size, know how much it's going to fit on the paper, what it's going to look like before it prints. And then that way, and then I just print it out. I tell my printer to print it duplex. It prints out at the proper size, double-sided, and then I just need to grab a sheet of paper for the size I'm printing on, lay it over it, mark where to cut it, punch it, done. And I have a paper cutter that can cut quite a few sheets of paper at one time. And I use a Crocodile single hole punch, which can punch through up to 20 sheets of paper at one time. So this actually, it sounds tedious, but it gets done pretty fast. And then I use binder clips to hold my little stacks of paper together for cutting and punching so that nothing gets out of alignment and gets wonky. Okay, so for the margin settings, if you're trying to do classic size, half letter size, or A5 size, or similar to A5 size, then you don't really need to do any tweaking with the margins. What I do is I will just make it regular size documents, but I'll tell my printer to print it as a booklet. Then it's already double-sided, it's already half letter size, I just need to cut it and punch it. Okay, but for personal size or compact size, I set the margins to 2.75 inches, both left, right, and top and bottom. For pocket A7 size, I set the top and bottom margins to 3.25 inches, and I set the left and right margins at 3.05 inches, and that's perfect. It gives enough room for the holes to be punched without punching into the thing, but it fills up enough of the page so that you're not really wasting paper or white space in that respect, so that you can fit more into your rings. Alright, so I just keep that little page in here. And then after that, I just have some blank sheets of paper. I have this little flag here because this is where filler paper begins, extra filler paper. If I need to write more notes, I just move this flag back to the next available blank paper. And then I just start writing more notes, brain dump, scratch paper, whatever I need, right? And I have a variety of filler paper in here. For example, this is dotted paper. This is dot grid from Harfia on Amazon. They are really cheap, but their stuff's kind of pretty cool. And I have more Harfia stuff in here that you'll see. I have various different colors of filler paper like this, and this is from a set I got from Amazon. It was $19, and it's pocket size Filofax for 2021, and it's a good deal if you're just starting in Pocket, and especially if you want to do a week on 2 pages. That's not enough room for me. But yeah, $19 or so, and you get a different variety of colored filler paper. You get really pretty to-do lists. You get tabbed monthly pages. They are calendar on 1 page, so you might want to look out for that. You get week on 2 pages, and there's several other sheets and information sheets and forms you get too. All that for $19, so I thought that was fabulous. So yeah, I have a lot of the filler paper from that. I have some grid paper, that's Filofax filler paper that came in my Pocket Malden that I got in 2017. And yeah, I just got a mix of paper. I got some of the Filofax lined paper from the Pocket Malden, etc. All right, so now moving past that to my last homemade dividers labeled planning. And so this is my planning section. And I keep a magnetic bookmark here because sometimes I need to clip something to something somewhere in my planner. So I just know to turn here when I need to clip something. And on the other side of my planning divider is also where I keep some sticky notes, which I do use regularly. So instead of having them on a dashboard on the front or whatever, I just keep them on the back of my planning divider. And then my first page in here is a Filofax title page, and that's to the stripes set that I got. And the other side of that page is just blank with a border around it. And then they have their holiday symbols. If I want to know what a holiday symbol is or what it means on their calendar pages, that's what this is for. I can look it up and see, well, what was that? All right. And now on the other side of that, the main reason why I have the page in here is because it's the 2021 year at a glance. And then the facing page, we have last year, 2020, and next year, 2022, year at a glance. And I really do like having year at a glances in my calendars. And then the back of that is just lined paper. And then after that, I have several sheets of the to-do lists that came in the Filofax stripes set. And yeah, it's just different colored, really, really cute little to-do list pages. I will rarely ever need them, but sometimes we have a big daunting project. I do need them. So I have them here for when I do need them. So moving past all of those, we then come to my calendars, my monthly calendars, and I have the whole year in here for months, and then I have 1 month in here for days that we'll get to soon. So this is March, so I flip to the March divider, which is again from the Filofax Stripes pack. Here's what the March divider looks like. And you can see it's tabbed, very handy. And then the Filofax month on 1 page, you can see it's pretty tiny. Now what I'm using it for is I'm highlighting important dates, and then other than that, this is my health tracker. I already have little symbols and letter codes that I have been using for years to track various different things for my health. So I already knew that would fit in here, no problem. So that's where I like, mostly it's like tracking headaches, menstruation, and various things like that. Or like last month I had a urinary tract infection, so that got tracked on the February calendar. Because for a little while last month I was in both Pocket and Personal trying to see if Pocket would work, and it works for me. So yeah, just track various health things there. And then after that, I have a month on 2 pages from Harfia on Amazon, and for $5, I got 4 or 5 years of undated month on 2 page calendars. Wow, that's like $1 a year. So here's the one that I set up for March. This is my March month on 2 pages. And the squares are big enough to do all my planning and writing in, especially since I'm not doing any of my health tracking on these, but I'm doing them on the tiny calendar, so it works out really well. All right, and then now I'm going to turn to my little today marker. And my little today marker is a Moterm marker. It came in a set. I think it was $6 something. I got the today marker, and this is from Moterm, 2 clear page lifters, a clear frosted zipper pocket and a clearish frosted top loading pocket. So that was a cute little set. The one thing I will say though, at least with the A7 size, I don't know if this is with their other sizes or not, is for some reason their page marker and the leather fly leaves, which come with the planners, the holes are a bit small, so they have friction when they turn on the rings. And the page lifters. So I just used my Crocodile hole punch, and Crocodile, it just punches through things like butter. You can punch through chipboard with that thing, and it just goes through like nothing. That's what I love about this Crocodiles. So I just used my Crocodile and punched the holes bigger to your standard 1/4 inch hole for the page marker. I also did that on both of the page lifters I got in the set, and I punched through the leather for the fly leaf. So I have the regular sized holes instead of the tiny ones, and now it turns fabulously. So it's another thing with the Crocodile. It punched through the plastic of the page lifters and the bookmark, no problem. It punched through the thick layered leather of the front fly leaf, no problem. Just like I'm punching just the regular paper. So I love the Crocodile. All right, now we come to my days, and I'm doing day on one page, and the day on one pages that I'm using are also Filofax, but they're not from Filofax Stripes. The weeks on 2 pages that came with that, I just had them set to the side for now, and we'll see what I do with those. I might just combine those with some of the Harfia blank calendars and gift that to someone. Filofax, I'm doing day on one page, and so it's just the Filofax day on one page for the A7 size for the year 2021, and it's working out good. I already write small, so this is not an adjustment for me, so it's fine. But on this side I have my master schedule, and of course I have it laminated, and of course I have the whole slit, just like, so they can pop in and out of the rings, just like the page finder does, right? So that's handy. And I have my master schedule, full master schedule on this side and full master schedule on this side. So it's the same thing on both sides. So that if I'm on a day where the page is over here, I see my full master schedule right there. If I'm on a day like today where my page is over here, I see my full master schedule right here. All right, and then I have a little top tab on my master schedule. That just makes it easier to flip and turn. So that's the only reason why that's there. And then my page marker, I love the Moterm page markers because they're clear, they're thin, and they have both inches and centimeters on them, which is really handy. And the little A7 one, it says, enjoy your life, in a little small phrase there at the bottom. So I thought that was cute. All right, and then day on one page. Let me flip to a blank one. Now, I want a little bit of color on them, so I just went through for the whole month, and I just put a bit of washi tape. A little bit on the top and then one on the bottom. And then I didn't do any stickers or washi tape any other place because I don't just fill the lines, I fill the white space as well. Telemarketer phone call. So anyways, yes, I fill the white space as well. The white space down here I use for tracking. I usually don't use the white space at the top for anything, but I like having it there in case I need the extra room. For example, the other day I needed to write down a phone number and make a phone call. This comes in handy. So this is the Filofax day on one page, A7 size, minus the decorative washi tape. So I have a whole month in here of month on one pages, so when we come to the near the end of March, then it'll be time for me to take these out after the last day of March and then put in the April ones. And I'll probably sit down while I watch a movie with my husband and put the washi tape on those. All right, so moving past all of my calendars and planning pages, after all of that, I have a sheet of, and this one I'm using dot grid Harfia filler paper, and at the top I wrote on it Future Planning 2022 Plus, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things on that. So I'll flip past that. And then I'm using one of those clear back Moterm page lifters that I repunched that have bigger holes. And I have labels on here of just reoccurring things that I will take off when I need it, and I'll stick it on the appropriate slot in my master schedule. For example, today's breakfast we had a do-ahead egg bake or egg casserole. So I already prepped that last night, and then last night I took my little oven label and then I stuck it in the morning routine section of my master schedule. So that as I'm going through my morning routine, that's sticking out at me and getting my attention. Oh, I need to get breakfast going in the oven. And so I stuck it at the beginning of my morning routine so that while breakfast is going in the oven, I can go about and do my morning routine. So yeah, these labels, I've had them for years and they still have their stick. I mean, some color's wearing off on the decor, but they're still completely functional, and that's awesome. On the back side of the divider, I just have some blank labels and a few extra tabs for when I need them anywhere in my planner. And that's the end of my planner. So that's everything I have in here. I have my wallet in here. I keep my bills in here. I have my planning system in here, my home management binder, budgeting, full note taking. I have absolutely everything in here, and it's fabulous. And it fits. And it's all because of the pockets and the big rings. And that makes this a really, really fun planner. Have a blessed day.